How you doing, y'all? Welcome to Confidence. I'm going to be honest. I feel like I have a lot to say. I feel like a lot has happened since the last time that we've gotten together. I think I say this a lot. But I think especially this week, I have personally been through a fuck ton of things. Like, honestly, like the drama is crazy. The hot and cold, the decisions, the ups and downs. I mean, it's honestly wild. So last podcast, I was talking to you guys about, how I've recognized that I've been kind of like living in a box, right? Where I'm not allowing myself to do uncomfortable things and get triggered. And that's a lot of what the work is for an avoidant, right? It's like working on allowing yourself to be in situations that you might not want to be in because you have to build the emotional fortitude to be able to experience a great relationship because you're going to get triggered. You're going to experience things from your partner. They're not going to be perfect. And it's very hard not to run away. It's very hard to trust people. I mean, honestly, any type of attachment, avoidant, anxious, even just secure. Trusting another person is not easy. Trusting yourself in a relationship is not easy. So, man, I honestly don't even really know where to start. Somebody did submit a question about, her having an anxious attachment and her feeling guilty for things not working out with her avoidant. I'm going to talk about that later in the podcast. And I guess we'll just kind of get there. So last podcast, I was telling you guys that I was like, okay, I'm going to try to get myself triggered and put myself in an uncomfortable situation. And I don't know what I'm going to do. Am I going to take this solo trip out to California, or am I going to stay here with this girl and maybe go to these different parties and events? And I was telling you guys how I was triggered by the fact that she was going to these events and these things. So if you guys had seen my Instagram or whatever it is, you probably saw that I did go on the solo trip. And I'm just going to tell you right now, it's so fucking fantastic. I really learned a lot about myself. There is so many things that I didn't realize about myself. And the reason is because when you're in the same routine, you're doing the same shit every single day. You wake up in the same house with the same people doing the same things. You don't get a chance to take a step back and really analyze and say, yo, what the fuck am I really doing here? Because sooner or later, what I realize is when you're in routine and you're doing those same things, you don't have a chance to step back and think for a second because you wake up and then you're in it, right? The dishes pop up, that person calls you, your mom hits you up, something happens, you got work, laundry, then you got the event, then you got the gym, then you got to eat. Next thing you know, you're just right back in it. You're right back in the same routine comfort zone that you've just already been in. And it's crazy because I had been feeling so uncomfortable. I want to say about a week or two ago, and maybe I shared this. I honestly don't even fucking remember what I talked about anymore. But I was sharing, I might have shared this, but I was feeling so overwhelmed about the quality of my life. And I've been talking about this for a little bit, right? My friendships feeling very stagnant, my relationship feeling like this, it's this ambivalence to the relationship. It's I like you, but what's good here? What's going on? And yeah, something inside me just told me, you know what? You got to do it. And it's funny, you got to fucking follow your heart like this. You really do. Your intuition is so fucking powerful. You got to trust yourself. If your body is telling you something, go for it. I'm not going to sit here and motivate you like some fucking motivational speaker, but dead ass. I'm going to keep it real. You got to get yourself uncomfortable. And that's exactly what I did. So I leave for this solo trip, and I'm telling you, there's a lot of shit. You guys are going to love this shit. I'm serious. So wait, let me make sure this is going. Okay. So, all right. So I fucking leave, right? I get in my car. I'm actually with the girl that, I was with, she helped me pack. We get all ready to go, and I have a lunch with her, tell her I care about her a lot. And I leave, I get in the car. First thing I did, which was nice, cause it's a 6-hour drive. I start off, I'm listening to music, and the next thing I threw on a podcast. And I thought this was actually really cool too, is I don't really ever sit there and listen to a podcast predominantly. It's funny, I record these, but I actually don't listen to podcasts. I mean, I have to fucking edit my own. So again, you're in the routine of shit, right? You don't have a chance to do little things. So speaking of which, it's like, yeah, I don't have a chance to sometimes just sit down and do nothing. So I had plenty of time. It's a 6-hour drive. I had to run a podcast, and right off the bat, it's fantastic. And if you guys want to go listen to the one that I listened to, I thought it was fantastic. It was Huberman Lab. I think it was the guy's name is Michael Easter, and he talks about doing uncomfortable things. I thought it was great, and it set up my trip so fucking perfectly because it was just going in on how human society, we have built society so comfortable that now our job as human beings is not to build more comfort. It's actually to build more discomfort into your life, right? The more discomfort that you bring into your life, the more joy you bring into your life, the more gratitude you have for the things that you have, right? Because if you're doing the same shit that you're doing all the fucking time, you lose sight of, yeah, how amazing your life probably really is, just as is. Because you don't have insight into how hard it can really be. And this is the importance of doing hard shit. And it also kind of builds that fortitude to, yeah, I don't know, I think handle hard moments and tough emotions. And I would say that is the biggest theme of this trip. And I think that the thing that I probably learned the most was like learning how to sit with myself in discomfort. It's so fucking powerful. It really is. And it's fucking hard because, like I said, when you're in fucking routine, you're not paying attention to it. You don't recognize that you need that. So anyways, I go on this trip. I love this podcast. I'm like, all right, cool. You know what? I'm going out here. I'm doing some hard things. Going to try to be, in the mix, just see what the fuck happens. And honestly, I thought that was a cool thing too, is like, I was kind of leaving a lot of things to spontaneity. Right? I don't really do that in my day-to-day life. And it's something that I'm going to incorporate into my life going forward as well too, is like being more spontaneous with my time, learning to like live in the moment and just do things that I want. Stop fucking trying to plan everything so much. Because every single time you strategize something, I truly believe that it's not authentic. And even this podcast, I don't know if you guys know this, but now going forward on all my podcasts, no plan, zero. I turn the mic on and I hit record and I go. Just whatever comes from the heart, because that's the most genuine. It's the most real. I'm telling you. And I'm realizing that about my life in general is when you are an avoidant, or even anybody, the thing is you are so attached to the way the outcome needs to be. You're so attached to the way other people view you that you lose sight of just being yourself. If you are strategizing, you are not being yourself, because it's not authentically coming just from the heart. You're overthinking, you're overplanning, you're overperforming. It's the facts. So anywho, I go and I go to this hotel, good vibes, good energy. I'm sitting there alone. I'm like, damn, all right, I'm in the shit, right? I'm in the mix. First night, not that big of a deal, right? I just get there. It was really late at night, stay at this hotel, wake up, and I get out of the house. I go meet my friend, go pick up some keys. I'm going to stay at my friend's apartment. He's going to be gone for the weekend. And there I went. It was July 4th. Now, this is where I feel like I experienced the most hardship, was on this day specifically. Because on that day, it was July 4th. I'm in Newport Beach. If you guys haven't been to Newport Beach for July 4th, this shit is popping the fuck off. It is stupid. Like, honestly, it is like the streets are just littered with fucking people everywhere. Everybody's with people, with their family. You just see people playing fucking beer pong out in the front. And then you go down, like I'm saying, by the bar area, it was absolutely bonkers. Like, it's some shit that you would see out of a riot. You know what I mean? There's just like kids, people, just all over the fucking streets. Everybody's fucking hammered. It's like Miami spring break energy. You see what I'm saying? It's like, it's just out of control. And what's funny is I'm in this mix and I'm fucking alone. And that was really fucking weird, you know? So like, okay, like I start the day, that day, and I just remember thinking like, all right, I'm going to get ready. I don't even know what I did. Where did I even go? I think I didn't go to the gym because my leg was like kind of fucking hurt. I think I just drove down. I think I went to a coffee shop. I was working on the damn podcast. So that was fun, right? That's my normal shit, working on the podcast, going to a coffee shop. I'm like, this is fire. But then the afternoon hit. And this is where it got kind of weird for me, because I'm out there alone. You know, I go to like the beach area and I had a lot of feelings. And here's the thing. My friend was in Newport that came from Arizona. I didn't even know he was going, and I saw he was there, and I texted him. I was like, yo, you're here? Like, what's good? We should meet up for the day, whatever. And, I hear from him one time. He's like, yeah. And then I don't hear from him anymore. Some random girl DM'd me, actually, and she's like, yo, come to this party in LA. Sends me a link to go to this party at like 4 o'clock. I'm like, I'm in this mindset where, I'm also reading this book called The Surrender Experiment. Fantastic. And it's all about letting go of the preferences of your life and learning to go with the flow of life. When life asks you to do something, instead of resisting it so much, go with the flow. You know what I'm saying? Life is trying to give you something, and life is trying to provide. So it's really just this mindset of surrender, right? Surrender your preferences, surrender like your feelings around shit. I mean, for instance, like let's say the rain, right? Let's say you go to this wedding that you were supposed to go to and it's fucking raining, right? Your preference might be, man, I wish it was fucking sunny. But imagine if you could look at life and all the things that you quote unquote dislike, right? When they happen to you, can you surrender to it? Surrender to the acceptance of whatever it is. So in that moment, can I say, oh, wow, there's a reason this happened. This rain is beautiful. So I'm having this mindset where my coach sends me out here. I'm fucking on this trip alone. I'm reading this book about surrendering. And I'm like, you know what I'm going to do? I'm just, like I said, I'm going to go with the flow. I'm going to be in my authenticity. I'm going to try new things. I'm going to say yes to everything. And so, yeah, this girl hits me up and I'm like, fuck yeah. Like I have something to do. That's really cool. I DM her back. I'm like, yo, if you're really serious, like I'll be there. I hear nothing back. I'm looking at my DMs. She doesn't open it. She doesn't open it. She doesn't open it. I'm like, all right, cool. A little disappointed, right? I then drive myself out to Huntington Beach and I'm there alone. Like, it's a really weird feeling. Like I show up, I park my car, I put my bathing suit on. My boy hasn't hit me back yet. I haven't heard anything from him. It was the strangest feeling, like walking around. I go to the beach, I'm by myself, like everybody's with people, everybody's with somebody. That's what it kind of felt like, like everybody's with their friends, everybody's with their family. I see people playing shit on the beach. Like there's a concert at the beach, like hella people are there. Like I said, it's fucking packed. And I'm just driving around looking for a parking spot, just like, again, no objective, zero objective. And I just remember feeling like really lonely. I was very uncomfortable. And on top of that too, like, I'm texting the girl, she's back at home and she's at a July 4th party that I was like invited to, obviously, and supposed to go to. And I'm second guessing myself a little bit. You know what I mean? I'm like, why am I doing this? Like, why am I out here? Like, it's like, what am I doing? Am I running from something? Like, why, like, what's the purpose? Those thoughts start to come up really fucking fast. And I'm telling you, I was feeling anxious as fuck. Like it started at the coffee shop. As soon as I finished my podcast, I'm like, I have no more work. And I'm experiencing all these different people. I remember so I walked the beach by myself, took my shirt off, and I just get on the boardwalk and I just started walking. I'm not joking. I probably walked for like an hour and a half by myself, just looking at different people, observing. All the while, I'm like sitting there waiting for a text back from my friend or like that girl to DM me back. Everybody's, like I said, everybody's in the mix. And, I was just like, I walked back to like the mall where I parked my car. And honestly, I was just like feeling so down about myself because I started to reflect back and I'm like, damn, like I really don't have close connections. And maybe it was the moment, right? But again, it's a culmination of how I've been feeling about myself in general, even back here, right? Where I'm like, I feel alone, I feel like I don't have my tribe. And now I really don't have my tribe. Now I'm in a new place, no one to hit up. My friends are gone. These people hit me up and then went MIA. That feels even worse, because if no one even hit me up to do something, it probably would have been better. Because now that you threw the plan at me and then you just kind of just like went MIA, I was like, damn, like that shit was fucking me up. But I just took the advice and like I said, this is where I think everything really changed for me. You know what I did? I walked back. I found this like bench. There's a couple people sitting by it and I just sat. I know it sounds dumb, but like this was one of the more transformational moments. I just sat down and I literally just surrendered. I just said, listen, I'm not going to double text. I'm not going to overreach out. He's busy. If they want to hit me up and they want me to go to these things, they will. And I need to just sit here. I need to surrender. I did. I swear to God, I just sat there and I just said, all right, I'm just going to sit here and I'm just going to feel these emotions. I'm going to feel what it feels like to be lonely. I'm going to feel what it feels like to be uncomfortable in a new place. I'm going to feel what it feels like to have all these different people around that are doing things and me feeling this insane amount of FOMO. And I just let go. You know what I mean? I was just like, all right, cool. Next thing you know, I'm sitting there. I get a text. My bad, bro. I was drinking. Didn't see this. By the way, there's no fucking service in Newport. He's like, yo, come meet me. I was like, fuck. I was like, damn. You let go and the world provides. And I think that was like I said, the biggest fucking lesson I learned, and I'm learning about myself and working with my avoidance and working with my uncomfortable emotions, is you always think it's going to be the end of the world. You always think like life is going to end or something's going to happen. And then what you do is you distract yourself. You distract yourself from that feeling because you don't want to feel it. You'll hit somebody up that you don't really care about. For me, I'll smoke weed, right? I'll smoke. If I feel that way, uncomfortable, I'll smoke. You know what I'm saying? You'll do something to distract yourself from that uncomfortable ass feeling of sitting there. But I surrendered to the moment. I let it be. And next thing you know, I got a text. And I was like, you know what? It's crazy. Sometimes you really just need to be still. I'm telling you right now, you think that you are not safe, you're safe. The world provides. Nature provides. It's not going to let you down. And the hard part is we always think that if we don't do something, if we don't force it, that nothing is going to happen for us. And it's not true. This isn't to say, not to take uncomfortable moves. And I'm going to tell you about something that happened later in the podcast about that. But it's learning not to force. It's learning not to avoid the uncomfortable. And sometimes, like I said, and even for a lot of my coachees, like it's hard, but for a lot of them, I would say one of the biggest hurdles for them, and especially my anxious, is you really struggle with those uncomfortable emotions. And instead of being still with them, instead of owning the disappointment of somebody not hitting you up or texting you back, what do? You force it. You double down. You hit up the person that is ghosting you. You hit up the person that is not giving you any energy because you just feel like you need somebody in that moment. And I'm telling you, it happens with a lot of my anxious clients where it's just like you double down on this relationship and then you come off needy. You come off insecure. And yes, maybe that person might respond and give you a little bit of fucking crumbs, but what is it worth? Because they didn't reach back out to you from a genuine place, it doesn't feel the same. That's what I'm saying. If I would have doubled down on my friend, maybe he would have answered. Honestly, he probably would have. But I realized I don't need to do that. I don't need to act like that in those moments because I'm doing my thing. And guess what? I took this solo trip for me. I didn't do it just to hang out with my friends. And I said, you know what? I'm going to let it go. And like I said, massive lesson for me in all of this and what I'm realizing about myself, because I'm anxious as fuck too, is you got to let it go. You can't double down. You don't need to do that. And here's the thing. It's not that you can't send somebody a text message and hit them up again. What I'm saying is you can't do it in a moment of anxiety. You can't double down and force something when it's not coming from a place of grounded confidence. And you know the difference. And again, you could be forcing anything. For me, it could look like a video, right? I'm so triggered that I felt like I should be doing more work. I help my other clients with this as well. A lot of my men, right? Where they really struggle. They always feel like they need to be working hard, doing something. I should be doing this. I should be doing that. I should have this. I should be grinding. I need to be grinding. I need to be doing this. A lot of the times, no, you don't. You're forcing. You feel you are not trusting that the world has your back. If you had true self-trust and you had true self-love, you would believe in the next moment that something authentic would happen for you. The hard part is getting to that next moment when you're feeling anxiety. What I'm realizing about my life in general is I got to cut all the forcing out. And it's so difficult to do. It's so hard. I think this is the biggest hurdle I've really been trying to overcome lately is, yeah, sometimes I want to make a video, but if I'm not in that mode, let it go. Let it go. Hey, I'm not getting that text back that I want. Sit with it. Let it go. Let it go. Surrender. Trust life. Trust that something else will be coming for you. Another moment, another person, another friend. I'm telling you right now, I know it is hard to believe this, but I'm serious. And so that was the whole point of the book that I was reading, is the surrender experiment. And I'll kind of summarize a little bit of it. I didn't even finish it yet, so I still need to work through this. But the premise is this guy surrenders to life, right? When something doesn't go his way, he accepts it and he lets it go. And what ends up happening is he eliminates the overthinking he has in his mind. He trusts his feelings. He goes with his feelings. He even just gives what the world's he takes what the world gives him. He says yes to shit that maybe his mind is telling him not to do. And next thing you know, he goes from this guy that lives in the woods and tries to meditate every day, where he lives out in the boonies. Nobody fucking talks to him. He doesn't have social media. He has none of this shit. And he becomes this like world-renowned author, business owner, all this shit. And at the beginning of the book, he's not even taking $1. And everything that he created was based off word of mouth. And not because he tried to do it, it's because he surrendered to the moment. And that's what I'm trying to say. Like, this is the biggest breakthrough that I feel like I had on this trip. So anyways, friend hits me up, get in the car, book it. I feel so much better, right? Alleviated. I'm like, all right, cool. Fuck it. It feels nice. Feels nice to have that. Anyways, it gets crazy. I show up over there and guess what? His location is not working because there's no fucking service. I go to the location that he showed me when he sent me that text. I walk up. It's a house party. I walk up to it. The cops are outside. I see a kid hanging over the balcony. I'm like, yo, is blank blank here? He's like, who the fuck is blank blank? I was like, damn. So what's fucking even crazier is one of the guys that are talking to the cops. My friend posted a story. And in the story in the background, this kid was in the background. And it somehow clicked to me. I was like, oh, that guy was in his story. I was like, he must know him. I'm like, hey, bro. I was like, do you know blank blank? He's like, who? He's like, nah. I was like, you were in his story. What do you? I was like, look, I showed you, and I showed him the story. He's like, oh. He's like, oh yeah. He left a while ago. The party got broken up, and we got kicked out. I'm like, oh my God. So now I'm in the middle of Newport Beach, no fucking service. I don't even have service. And I just see his location and it's 15 minutes away now. I'm like, oh my God. I'm on a wild goose chase now. So now I'm out, there's no fucking parking. It took me an hour to park. I'm now walking around. People are drunk as fuck everywhere. Some kid gets cracked. You know what I mean? There's a fight that breaks out across the street. I'm like, oh my goodness. All right, cool. So I'm out there again, I'm like, all right, I got to find service and I got to figure this shit out. So I walk out of there. I'm just walking aimlessly now. I'm like, his dot was somewhere over here. I'm just going to walk and go. I get a text message finally. He's like, hey bro, we're going to here. I was like, all right, cool. So I show up there and hey, I meet my friends. I finally make it. I'm like, whoo, fuck. 4 hours of me fucking being by myself, doing all this wild shit. Like, God damn, this feels nice. You know what I mean? Like, I'm uncomfortable as shit. You know what I mean? I've just been running around alone. But hey, it was an adventure, right? So like, cool. I meet up with them. Good vibes. It's really nice because I actually have been looking at that area potentially to maybe move. I've thought about it because I was like, part of me feels like maybe I need to get out of Arizona. Part of me feels like maybe I ought to do something just completely different and really get uncomfortable. I've been thinking about it. So it was cool. I hung out with him, my friend, his boy lives down there. Cool fucking vibes. I'm like, damn, this is great. Like, yeah, this is nice. I'm getting the experience that I want. I'm meeting cool people. I'm connecting with people I've never met before because I put myself in a new place. We end up going out. Vibes were weird. You know what I'm saying? I met another guy from AZ. What's really cool now is like when I was with them, I went out, bro, people are coming up to me. Hey bro, I seen your content. like, I really love what you do. Some other guys like, hey bro, I known you from this podcast, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, wow, this feels great. Like, I'm just out here. I'm doing something. I'm alive. Like, yeah, you know what? I'm around a bunch of fucking drunk ass people that, like, maybe it's not really my vibe, but it feels nice to be in that energy and just to do something crazy. And yeah, went out, met some good people, ate some chicken wings in the club. It was a weird night. We got into the mix. Like I said, met a couple cool different people. And yeah, like, I don't even know. Like the end of the night was even wilder. We drove these two, like honestly, they were just like the definition of like dumb blonde OC girls back to my friend's apartment. Bro, these girls, they get in the car. One of the guys I was with was he did not give a fuck. And these two girls, they were not associated with me. They were with these two other guys that we were with. And before they get in the car, this guy asked her like, yo, why are you coming back with us? The girls were just like, I don't know. They all pile into my car. They get to the apartment. We get there. We sit on the couch. This girl's like, I want a pizza. Are we ordering pizza? The guy is like, yo, we don't have a speaker. The girl next to him is like, we're going home. I just drove them to this guy's apartment. And then it started getting weird and heated. Like these two, like this, I'm telling you, this guy, he's like funny. He's like one of their guys' friends, but he's being really standoffish to his girl. He's like, yeah, you probably should leave. I'm like, oh my God. He's like, all right, cool. See ya. Bye. Like, you shouldn't even came back here anyways. Like, they're like arguing. I'm like, what is going on right now? So yeah, I don't know. Night was weird. End up driving home. I'm like, whatever. Hey, had an experience. Cool shit. Next day. It's weird, but it gets weirder. Now, this is the day that I think feels so much better to me. What's interesting is, the next day, this was like my true solo day, honestly. It was like the day that like I was just going to be like, all right, cool. I'm really going to be by myself. Like, I didn't hit any of my friends up that next day. I was just like, all right, now it's like, it's really Chris time. I was like, I'm going to go to a coffee shop, or I'm going to check out some cool places. I'm going to check out the 2 gyms that I like, and I'm just going to vibe. This random girl hits me in the DMs that was supposed to send me places 2 days before, but she never did. But she's like, oh, I'm so sorry that I didn't say anything, but here's all the suggestions I have for places that you should go and eat. I was like, oh, cool. Thank you so much. Connected with her. Cool vibes. And then I drive down to Newport. By the way, I'm staying in West Hollywood, and I'm driving down to Newport. Newport's an hour away from West Hollywood where I'm staying. I drove from West Hollywood to Newport, from West Hollywood to Newport in the same day, the day before. And then I did it again the next day. But whatever, fuck it. It's just part of the journey. But I'm really enjoying it too. It's wild how I was feeling. I'm driving around. It's like an hour drive, but yo, I'm telling you guys, I'm fucking chipper as a bitch. I'm vibing. I'm listening to my music full blast. I'm just like cutting people off. I'm smiling. I'm waving. I'm just feeling this fucking energy. I just feel so fucking good. I'm serious. Like, I'm driving around. I'm just doing my thing. I'm going to this location. I'm checking out this gym. I want to read a book. The 2 gyms that I even wanted to go to, both were closed on the weekend. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? I literally drove. They were closed anyways, but I drove up to them. There were like people in the one gym. I knock on the door, not answering me. I'm like, all right, cool. I guess I'll leave. Go to the next gym. Same thing. No one's there. It's closed. I'm like, all right, what the fuck? So I take one of these girls' suggestions. I'm like, all right, let me go eat at this place. So I go eat at this place. And she's like, yo, you got to go to this place in Laguna, Treasure Island. I was like, all right, cool. So I get in my car. It's an hour south from Newport, right? Now I'm going even like an hour and a half further from where I'm staying. And I'm like, fuck it. Who cares? Drive down to Laguna, and I drive down to Treasure Island. Treasure Island is just a place off the side of the beach that is just honestly vibes. It was nice. I was like, let me just go here. You know what? I'll just go. I'll walk around. I'll see what the vibes are. I'll bring my book. I'll bring my journal, and I'll just be in my own energy. I just want to just like chill. So I go get some food. I drive down there, and yeah, like, I don't know. Vibes were solid. Like, it was nice. Just like walking the side of the beach. Like, I find some parking that I found out wasn't really parking because I got a ticket. And yeah, I walk down the side of the beach. I'm laying down. I'm by myself. Like, you know what I'm saying? All these different families. Weird shit is happening though. I lay down in the grass and I read my book. It feels good. I'm just laying in the grass and I'm just in my own energy. And today I didn't feel uncomfortable. And I think the reason I didn't feel uncomfortable is like, I just had navigated that other situation. I just had all this social interaction and I just feel like I didn't have FOMO because all these people weren't with other people. And just a side caveat, while this is all going down, I felt a little bit anxious about being far away from the girl. And like we had text here and there, but yeah, I don't know. It was nice to be on my own, seriously. And like, even on Saturday, I was like, hey, I'm going to go explore. Like, I'll talk to you later. I just like sent that. And yeah, we didn't talk all day long, honestly. So I lay down in the grass. I watch the sunset. I then journal. I journal 2 full pages. And then this girl calls me and I answer. I'm like, hey, what's good? How you doing? Conversation just kind of feels like it's a little heavy and I don't really know why. And we're talking and this is like, I guess this is some fucked up shit, but I just got to be honest with y'all because it's just what happened. I'm about to leave and out of nowhere, this girl starts walking around this thing. She's by herself. She's walking around. And I was like, whoa. I was like, blew me away. I was like, she is like gorgeous. I tell the girl on the phone, I'm like, hey, I got to call you back. I hang up. I watch this girl walk past me and she goes down this like secluded path and she sits at this corner bench and she's by herself. She had a blanket. It's fucking cold. And I'm just like standing there. I'm like probably 20 feet away. I watch her go sit down. I guess that's kind of creepy, whatever. And I sit there and I'm like, here's the deal. And I'm having this conversation with myself. I'm like, I'm out here. I came out here to get uncomfortable and something in my body told me to say something. And guess what? I got to go do it. I was like, fuck it. Like, I feel nervous as fuck, but fuck it. Take a deep breath. And I'm like, all right. I go walk down this path. And the reason it's fucking really nerve wracking, number one, yeah, she's like, good looking. But the second part is she's at this bench and there's nowhere to go to her right. Like she walked down this pathway where the way that I walked down, that's the only way to leave. I'm essentially cornering this girl in essence. So I walk up to her, I walk up to the bench and I'm like, hey, what's going on? She's like, hi. I was like, hey, I'm be honest, like I saw you and yeah, I was just like wondering if you would be down to like talk and hang out for a bit. Do you mind if I sit down? She's like, yeah, sure. Like take a seat. Start talking. Bro, hit it off. She told me that she was there alone because she came to journal. And I was like, whoa. And yeah, honestly, I'm not gonna get into like how, what exactly all was said, but I just felt like we were vibing, we were connecting, and it was something. And then I was like, hey, like we talked for like an hour or so and maybe like an hour and a half. And, I was like, all right, well, I was like, do you know any place that's like good to eat around here? And she's like, oh yeah, there's one Italian spot, blah, blah, blah. I was like, oh, do you want to come? Like, do you want to go with me? And she's like, yeah, sure. Fuck it. Bro, leave, get in her car and go have like this impromptu like date, at this place. Bro, we get in there. We're the last people. There's one booth open and they have a live music, like saxophone. It was so fucking sus. I'm telling you right now, I don't understand. The vibes were fucking weird. Like, I just felt like we were connecting on all these things. She said she meditates. She said she reads. She said she like journals. She was out there by herself too. She had parked her car and just gone there just to sit there and journal, kind of like I did. And I was like, wow. I was like, I haven't really met like somebody like this, And this doesn't really matter, but it's also kind of part of the story. It's weird. When I was sitting there reading my book, I also had watched this guy propose to this girl. And what's funny is the girl said when she had parked her car, she had also seen a proposal on the other side. And I was like, whoa, I'm feeling like a girl. You know what I mean? When like a girl's like, oh my God, 444, like look at all these things we have in common. Like I'm sitting there like, oh my God, I'm out here solo trip. Like, you know what I'm saying? Getting uncomfortable being by myself. I meet you, you're getting uncomfortable, you're being by yourself. This was meant to be, you know? So anyways, vibes were good. It was a lot of fun. And we drive back to my car and we sit there and we talk. And, you know, she asked me like why I was out there and like what happened. Bro, I told her straight up. I was like, listen, like, I don't know. Like I just felt like I needed to get away. I felt like my life of like, you know, back in Arizona was being a little stagnant and I just needed to do something different, honestly. And then she started like almost like weirdly like calling me out. She's like, you came out here without this person. Like that feels like you're not fully invested in what you're doing. And like part of me was like, damn, like, yeah, a little bit, kind of. I don't know. It all just started to hit me in that moment of like, have I really just been comfortable in this situation and what I'm doing? Am I not like seeing what is really happening like to me? And I was like telling her how it's been hard for me to be creative over the last like few months. And to be honest, I think what I started to realize in that moment is that, I don't know, I feel like I have weirdly been blocking myself. And honestly, you know, here's the other thing too. This girl had tried to call me back. I didn't answer, right? Because that's what's fucking crazy if you think about it. It's like, it's almost like in that moment I made a choice. You know what I'm saying? In that moment that I hung up that phone, I made a choice. So anyways, yeah. And I was like, yeah, I guess it's cooked. You know, it is what it is. Anyways, we have a good time. And I was like, all right, I don't know what to do with this. Like, it was like, I was like, wow, this is like crazy that we met and like we, you know, all this stuff. Got her number, obviously. And then that's it. I was like, damn, I would love to see you again. And obviously I leave tomorrow, but yeah, it is what it is. I give her a hug goodbye and I get in my car to leave. I call this girl back. I tell her immediately what happened. I said, yo, I'm going to be honest with you. I hung up. There was somebody else. I talked to her. Something in my body compelled me to do it. And yeah, I'm sorry. You know, I'm not going to judge myself, but I definitely, if looking back at that, I don't love that. And I feel a lot of remorse and sadness for hurting this person, but I don't know. I guess this is just one of those moments in life I don't know, I got to own. So I told her straight up though. I told her exactly what happened. I told her exactly what we did. I told her about going to dinner, coming back. And obviously, again, I would say emotionally, I would say I cheated in a way. You know, I mean, we're not like official. We weren't boyfriend, girlfriend, but yeah, I think the expectation is that I probably wasn't going on dates with other people. That's just what it is. So I just owned it. And I was like, listen, I'm going to have to process the way that I feel like all of that just happened really fast. And I feel like I need to sit with it for a second. And, yeah. And in that moment, she was like, obviously, yeah, like we can't like talk again. Like, this is what it is. Like, I was like, all right. So yeah, next day comes. Honestly, the girl lives in California, so in a different city. I'm not going to say where, but anyways, like went, and I was like, you know what? I went to go meet up with her again before I left, went and saw her. Vibes were solid. And yeah, dropped her off. Same thing. Gave her a hug. And I left. And I came back to Arizona. And now I'm in a shitstorm, you know? I'm confused. I like did this thing again, right? Where I tried to hit on somebody again. Oh, I did hit on somebody again. So yeah, I don't know. This is kind of like fast forward to like these moments here. And I had to just sit with it. And the thing is, I've now talked to my coach about this stuff. And I then started to learn more about my avoidance, because the other thing too is like, yes, this new girl seems like she's all the rage and how she could be so cool and such a great match. But the truth is like, I don't know her at all. And like, yes, she might have said all these things, but honestly, I was riding this high of this fantasy with this person because I just thought, wow, you know, what could be, you know what I'm saying? You put all the scenarios in your head. You're like, wow, you do this, you do this, you do this. You know, you lose sight of just the reality that like, I'm like, I don't know you. And I know this other person. And it almost kind of feels like I'm doing that thing where I'm running away again. So now I have all these confusing emotions. Like, is this my avoidance? Is this person right for me? Do I like this other girl? Do I like the girl back home? What the fuck is going on? You know, I just put myself in this uncomfortable, weird situation. And now I'm like driving back and I'm like, what is happening? And I was obviously advised to just like sit with my feelings and try to feel what the fuck is going on. What do I want? What is happening here? And, yeah, like, cause like what I've learned about being an avoidant as well too is, you know, you're always on the hunt for the perfect person. You're always on the hunt for the perfect person. And the reason that you're always on the hunt for the perfect person, and here's what's crazy, because this girl, by the way, the girl from back home, she was doing bottle service. She was doing all these things. My coach asked me, she was like, why do you have a rule that you can't date bottle girls? Because again, all your triggers in a relationship are about you. Because at the end of the day, that's what was happening. I was like thinking to myself, I'm like, I don't like this. This girl works at the club. I'm feeling all these things, right? The uncomfortable triggers of like this girl doing these things. And she was like, what is the belief underneath? And then I realized the belief underneath that rule is that I might get taken advantage of. And it's almost just like I felt that the relationship that I'm in right now is so triggering to me that I want to look outside elsewhere because I feel that the relationship outside of this one would be less triggering. So that is starting to confuse the fuck out of me, because I'm like, did I just do this because I felt that somebody else is going to solve my problems? Because that's what you don't realize as an avoidant, is that sometimes you feel that the relationship that you're in, you're getting triggered so much because you're afraid of getting hurt and you're afraid of not being enough. And you think that somebody else is going to solve that. Never mind, you get into another relationship and you find out 3 months later that you're going to be triggered as fuck by them. That's what's crazy. So now I'm sitting here, I'm like, is it like, does the person I date matter? Like, am I supposed to just roll with whoever I'm supposed to be with in my life and just get through these triggers and just push through this discomfort and just stay with this person? Man, like I'm thrown for a loop. And obviously the girl back home, you know, she is doing this thing where I could tell, like, she's like, you know, like, what do you want? Like, if you really want to be here, like, show me. But what I've realized also too is there's so much gray area in relationships. Sometimes you just don't know. Sometimes you just don't have an idea of exactly what it is that you want. So I was sitting with it, and when I got back here, I was like, my truth is that I feel like I want to see these things out, right? Like, why am I constantly looking outside? And I understand the trigger thing, but it feels deeper than that, because I've been doing that to this girl the whole time. And I think I told you guys on a previous podcast with the girl back home, you know, there's been times where I've felt in my body, I'm like, I've said to her and to her face, I was like, I like you, but it's just like, I don't love. And yeah, I feel like in a way it's weird. I feel like this trip, it's almost like I took it because like my body was almost like pushing me to get out of this Groundhog Day situation. I'm hanging out with this girl back here all the time, every night. I feel like a shell of myself. Not that I'm not enjoying my time with her, but I just feel so comfortable and stagnant. I'm recognizing that there's a problem and I don't know what it is. So when I had left, I think it all hit me at once of like, oh fuck, like, am I just stuck in a comfortable rut with this person that I like but don't love? And so now I'm thinking like, yeah, maybe this isn't the right situation for me. I guess long story short, even though I'm not there, you know what I was advised to do? I was advised to write down, what is it that I want in a relationship? Because at the end of the day, that is the biggest thing. What do I want? What does love look like to me? What do I need? Right? What does that partnership look like for me? And you know what I realized? I think what I realized by interacting with that other girl, and I have a little story about her in a second, but I think I realized, because like when I was around her, and this is going to sound foul, but I realized that in that moment, yes, I didn't know her, but I realized that there are people in the world that I feel like I get this genuine vibration with, that I know that I don't know if I felt in this current situation I was in, like the relationship that I was in. And the thing is, I know that feeling because I felt it before with some of the previous situations. And again, this isn't to say that they are my people, because this is, I need you to hear this clearly. That feeling that I'm having of that intensity is based on a fantasy. I don't know this person at all. They're far away. It's not like that. But, and I'm just going to be real, I feel like the girl that I met, her confidence, her boundaries, the attraction that I had to her, I recognized that feeling, and I recognized in that moment that is valuable to me. And I do want that. And it's not to say that she was my perfect person or she is my perfect person. It's not that, because I have no idea who she really is. But I think I just know that I feel like I need that. And I feel like it was stuff that when I really look at this relationship that I'm in, and again, not to compare, but that feeling of a deeper knowingness, I just don't have it. And I realize that I can't keep doing that to this girl that I'm talking to. I don't want to hurt her like that. And now I've done this numerous times where I'm sitting there and I'm running away and I'm hitting on people. And what I've realized is that I need to just come to terms that what I want matters. And the problem is, and this is what I've realized about a lot of people that I coach and just in general, you're so disconnected from your own feelings. I'm so disconnected from the way that I truly feel, what I truly want. We're so attached to the way that other people view us. We're so attached to feeling responsible for the way that somebody else feels that we lose sight of what is true for us underneath. And what I recognized, I think, is that like underneath there is a knowingness that, again, this relationship, as much as I like you and as much as we have this great friendship and as much as we have this good vibe, there's a deeper underlying truth about the way that I feel. And when you're in those ambivalent relationships where you're like, I like it, but I don't love it, to me, that's the hardest one. Because all it does is make you feel fucking comfortable and safe, but at the same time, it makes you feel uncomfortable because you know that there's more that you want. And it's so hard to follow that inner voice because it's so scary to leave it. And that's what I guess I've been experiencing in this relationship, where it's like I'm happy, but it's not everything that I want. And what I'm realizing is it's not fair to her or to me to stay in something where I keep doing this. But what I realized by taking this trip and taking these moves and making these moves, and unfortunate how it happened, and like, yes, it sucks. And yes, I take accountability for hurting this person. But it's what I needed to do to see what was going on. So, yeah, I don't know. Now, here's what's crazy. So the other girl that we have this great time with, as soon as I get back to Arizona, I say, hey, I had a really good time. It was nice meeting you. Immediate, yeah, it was nice meeting you. She said, like, almost like, have a good one. I was like, all right, cool. What I realized is like that girl, very avoidant. And I realized that by talking to her about her situations as well too. But that shit faded almost instantly. And it's weird because this is what I'm going to say is that, did I feel some disappointment behind that? Yeah, I did. I was like, wow, I thought I had this amazing connection with you. And just like that, just like I felt like disregarded. And I'm sure it's the way the other girl felt about me. But here's what I realized. This is where sitting with that discomfort of accepting the uncomfortable feelings comes in. And this is what I realized. And again, the surrender experiment. I got to surrender. I might have thought that that was like the coolest thing ever, or she was so cool. But as soon as you show me that you're not it, I don't care if my preference is that I think you're cool and I want to see you again. It's not meant to be. You're not my person. Accept it. And I think that is the hardest thing for a lot of people. And I was just coaching somebody today, this girl that is anxious. And this is the scenario, which is she's dating this guy who she can't seem to get away from because he has already told her numerous times she doesn't want a relationship, or he doesn't want a relationship. She can't seem to let go of him. And then they're in this like bullshit situationship. But the truth is that we get underneath into her feelings. I asked her, what do you want? Right? What do you really want? I have this feeling of fear. I have this feeling of anxiety. I feel like underneath, if you want me to be honest, I have this hope that I'm somehow going to get this version of him that he showed me at the beginning. This version of him that showed up for me and texted me and all this stuff. So I was like, oh, so you have this hope that he is going to what? Love you and show up for you. Even though you know on the surface, he's not going to do it. He showed you. What's crazy is my client's like, I've accepted the fact that he's not going to show up for me like that. But she is so stuck in this cycle with this guy that she wants this love from, right? She has this hope for, but knows underneath that she's not going to receive it. What she is not able to do is surrender her preference. She cannot accept fully that this person isn't going to give her that. And she's unwilling to try. And I think that's what happens when I told you about the force thing. When you are in a state of force, this is how you're going to feel. You're going to feel uninspired. You're going to feel fear. It's not going to feel good. Because the truth is you're not living in congruence with your underneath truth. Take it all the way to my situation. Yes, I'm in a situation that isn't bad. It feels good to be around that person. So my situation is a little different. I think my worthiness is like medium. My clients is at bare minimum nothing. I love myself, I think 50-50. And the reason is because I still haven't fully chose myself in this relationship. Because again, it's good, but it's not exactly what I want. And I'm afraid to receive that. But what happens is again, you pay the price. You pay the price for not following what is true to you about exactly what you feel. You know what I feel about this situation? I like it, but I don't love it. And whether I like it or not, it keeps showing up. Surrender. Chris, surrender. You know how much surrendering I had to fucking do over the last 3 days? When I wrote down what I want in a relationship, I want a partnership where it is best friends, where they do support me, where they can have hard conversations, where actually they push me and inspire me. And guess what? I find them really attractive. I find that, they do go to the gym. They do take care of themselves. I want these things. I know I want these things. And that's just the truth. The truth is when I sat there and I looked at both girls, I'm like, I got to surrender both. One girl I thought was cool. I thought she might have been these things, but she's not showing me energy. You're clearly not showing up for me. You clearly don't want what I want. Surrender. Accept it. Sit in that discomfort. I came home. I could have easily smoked some weed and tried to sit through that anxiety. You know what I did? I validated my own feelings. And this is something that you need to practice. In order to properly surrender to your true feelings, you got to be able to handle disappointment. That is what is going to make you really fall in love with yourself, is the ability to handle uncomfortable feelings without taking an action, without being anxious, without forcing something. Because when you force something, you then get into this, again, you create situations for yourself that ultimately don't inspire you, and you create your own anxiety. You create more anxiety because all you do is deflect away from experiencing what you need to experience, which is the disappointment of not getting what you want. So my point is, I had to sit there with the discomfort that, damn, I thought I had a fire time with this girl, but she doesn't see me like that. Point blank, surrender. You know what I told myself in that moment where I'm having that anxiety? What is my anxiety telling me to do, right? What happens? You overthink. Oh, maybe I should send her a text message and tell her that I like her and I care about her and that I want to see this through and I want to do this and I can make this happen and I'll buy you a flight. Accept it, Chris. She doesn't see me like that. That's hard. You know what I told myself, Chris? You're going to be okay. It's okay to be disappointed. Feel the disappointment. It's okay. I swear to God, I'm telling myself this. It's okay. I'm feeling anxious. It's okay. I'm feeling fear. Feel the fear. It's okay. Validate, Chris. Okay. Guess what? It took me a day, but I moved through it. And I was like, all right, I accepted it. This person's not part of my story anymore. Girl back here, I realized something. I like this girl, but I'm not in love. And she's not everything that I want. And I got to face that. And I got to accept it. And as much as it's going to be hard to not be around this person and hang out with her every day like we always have, I got to follow what's true to me. And I got to accept it. And I can't keep telling this girl that I can keep trying. I realize that it's not my avoidance. My avoidance comes up when, like the way that I would look at it is if I truly knew in my heart that it was what I wanted, but I was getting scared because it was triggering to me, right? Like her being a bottle girl. I recognize that in itself is not a good reason to break up with somebody. Getting triggered by somebody's job or what they're doing, again, unless they're not treating you right, that's different. But this girl was treating me right. So it's not about that. Because if it was about that, then that is my avoidance and that means I'm running away. But the truth is what I needed to do was I needed to get really honest about what it is that I want and own it. And here's the thing too. I'm saying all this stuff right now. I only know what I know in this moment. This is how I feel right now. The other thing I'm realizing too is you cannot control the future. And so many of us are planning and again, strategizing. Oh, well, if I do this with this girl and I do another month, it's like, it's not about the future. It's about the right here, right now. It's not about creating strategies for how you're going to attack life. It's about knowing how you feel right now and being honest to it. This is how I feel right now. I don't know how the future is going to be. Maybe I go for 2 more weeks and I realize, hey, I fucked up and this girl's my person. So be it. And that's one thing I realized about a lot of people that I coach too, and people in general, is you're so afraid to be human. Why? Because the truth is how people are going to judge you. The truth is, coming on this podcast and telling you guys about this, some people might have a negative opinion about me. So be it. That's on you. I know my experience. I'm a human being. And just like you are, guess what? You're going to learn new things. I realized that by going through these experiences, I learned that, hey, the reason I went back in the first place is because I wasn't trusting what it is that I wanted. I wasn't able to handle the uncomfortable feelings of losing this girl. The first time I went back to this girl, I now recognize that it was me not being able to sit with the discomfort. It was me forcing something that wasn't true. And guess what? I paid the price for it again. Yes, maybe I had a great month with her. Honestly, we had such a great relationship. It was fun. Honestly, I'm talking about the girl back home. But the truth is I always felt that underlying discomfort. And I didn't see it. And I needed to separate myself entirely and go to a brand new place to recognize, oh, fuck. I'm not doing what I want. I don't have what I want. And I just got to accept. And this is what I realized. This is what believing in yourself really is. It's dropping the attachment to how anybody views you and really trusting and just speaking out or speaking up about what you feel and knowing what it is that you feel, knowing what it is that you want. Listen, like I said, I'm growing. I'm becoming way more secure in myself. Because I don't care. If somebody wants to judge me, then they can. They can absolutely do that. Again, I'm living my truth. And that's what I realized about, avoidance and everything that I help people with on a day-to-day basis, like coaching people. My job is to help you recognize what it is that you feel and help you own that and help you actually believe in yourself. People tell everybody, it's like so cliche, like believe in yourself, just believe in yourself. People don't realize how to actually do it. Believing in yourself means that you have no attachment to the way that other people view you. If I had attachment to the way that this girl views me, what happens? And what did I do? It clouds my judgment. It clouds my feelings. The feelings I have, I like, but I don't love. And that's fucking hard to tell somebody. It's hard as fuck. Because you don't want to hurt other people's feelings. You care about the way that they view you. So here's where I'm at. And I realized that, as long as I can handle those uncomfortable feelings of disappointing somebody else, or me feeling disappointment because something didn't go the way I wanted, that's an emotional superpower. That's confidence. That means that I could say how I feel to anybody at any time, and I can handle if it doesn't work out. That is true self-belief. That's true confidence. And that's what I realized. Surrendering to what is. You got to put your energy out there. You got to know what it is that you want. But if something doesn't go your way, you let it go and you accept it and you trust in yourself. You trust that life is safe and it's not scary, because that's what we do. Again, it's coping, right? Jumping to a partner that is not meaningful to you. It's coping to smoke weed when you're feeling like shit. It's coping when you accept something that you know you don't really want, because you feel that life isn't going to give you what you need or what you want. And maybe it's not going to give you what you want in the moment, but you got to trust. And you could use God, you could use the universe. It doesn't matter. Trust that these things are all happening for you. And that's what I'm realizing too. There's no wrong choice. There's no wrong path. Whether I talk to the girl or not, it doesn't matter. Whether I break up with this girl or not, doesn't matter. It's all the right choice because it's the choice I'm making for myself. And I'm just learning and I'm experiencing. I'm going to answer this question really quickly. I know it's been a long podcast, but I think it goes right in line with everything that we're talking about. But this girl said, I'm not sure if you're going to see this. I've been watching one of your YouTube videos about overcoming avoidant attachment. I recently was talking to a guy for about 7 months and we just hit a really rocky time. We ended up ending things just because we felt like we were in this ongoing cycle of being good and then bad again. We both expressed it wasn't what we wanted, but it was what was needed. As I've stepped away from the situation, I've learned that I have an anxious attachment style and he was an avoidant. I know that you mentioned a few of your relationships not working out because of this. My question being, how do you not live in regret or blame yourself for your attachment style? As in, I keep wondering if I were just able to heal, would we have been able to work out? You know what I'm going to say to this right now. Surrender. You did the best with what you could at the time. That's what people don't realize. We hold on to so much shame and guilt. And a lot of my coaches do this. When they start working with me, they're like, fuck, I've been doing this for so fucking long. I've been going against myself for so long. How did I not see this? Right? How did I not, get out of these relationships, whatever. And I'm like, you didn't know. That's part of being a human being. We all want to be so consistent. And why? Think about it for a second. Why do you want to be so consistent? For what? It's usually for the shame that you feel in terms of, I truly believe, how other people might view it, how your friends might view it, how your family might view it, how your partner that you dated might view you. Right? Think about this. When we're anxious and we show up fearful and we didn't stick up for ourselves, that's what you're pretty much saying, right? You're pretty much saying, I did not stick up for myself, right? I regret and I'm living in this shame and blame for myself because I realized that maybe I didn't honor myself. You didn't know better. But the truth is like, yeah, maybe that guy views you that way, but guess what? Like, you got to drop that attachment to that. You got to trust yourself. You got to trust your path. You got to trust your journey. There's no regret. You're not on the wrong path. You're not in the right place. You're in the right place right now. You learning these things, you wouldn't have learned them if you didn't go through this. And that's what a lot of people do is they learn the lesson and then they feel regret and they blame themselves. How are you supposed to know? You didn't know. But you want to be so fucking consistent. And you want to be so confident to everybody in your life. You don't want to look bad. That's what I'm realizing. Like, that's not self-love. Self-love is guess what? There's times where I'm not going to be perfect. There's times where I'm going to make an action that I'm going to look back and say, damn, I wish it went differently. But you got to accept it. That's the next step. Accept that you didn't know. Accept that you learned this lesson for a reason. And you looking back and saying like, damn, right? Like maybe things could have worked out, right? If I was able to heal, I guess, maybe. But the truth of the matter is, if he's avoidant, he's not secure already either. You're not the reason the relationship didn't work out. It's not just you. And hopefully you heard from my story that it's not always just the attachment style either. It's not. Sometimes who you are is just not what that other person envisions for themselves. And it's a really hard thing to accept that you might not be somebody's person. They might not view you as their full package. Accept it. Just like how I met this girl. I thought she was so incredible. She was all these amazing things. She works out. She journals. She meditates. All these fucking things. And then she turns around and gives me this energy like, I don't really care about you. All right. Accept. Damn, it sucks. I wanted it. But you're not my person. God has a bigger plan for me. And guess what? Maybe she does care about me and she's just really avoidant, but guess what? I can't heal her. I can't fix her. I could try to force it, right? What do a lot of anxious people do? Hit them up. Hey, it's just your avoidance. Hey, this. You force it. You force it. You can't. Because if they don't come back to you in a genuine place, it's not genuine. Right? If that avoidant person is meant to come back into your life, you can't tell them to do it. They have to do that work on their own and figure that out for themselves in order for you guys to truly have a genuine relationship moving forward. It's the only way. And you will realize that if you are able to have the self-worth to accept when somebody doesn't see you in that way, you will see that you will find people in your life that do. You have the self-security that, guess what? It also shows them something. It shows them that you are not scared of being rejected. It shows them that you are not scared of handling uncomfortable emotions such as disappointment. And I guess, lesson for the person that I was talking to here, right? I'm going to be real. I feel like there are times that she's inadvertently pushing me away because it's almost like I feel responsible for her feelings because she's not walking away from me. I'm not saying that's the only reason that we didn't work out because, again, like I just said, and to answer your question, it's not just always about attachment styles. Sometimes you could have showed up confident, but guess what would have happened? It would have happened like it would have happened for me, right? Let's just say you healed your anxious attachment and you're dating an avoidant. Here's the only difference. If you are secure, when they show you that they're being avoidant and that they don't really like you or they're not valuing you, you would just walk away. The result would have been the same. You still would have had to handle the disappointment of not having them in your life. It doesn't mean you just get the relationship. Now, does it mean it puts you in a better position to receive that person? Yes. Because what will happen is if that person heals their avoidance or they, for some reason, feel in the next moment that you are somebody that they want to be with, you would have had the self-security to walk away, and I guarantee you they would have respected you more. So I guess maybe they might see you and view you in that way again. But ultimately, you don't control that. And what I've experienced now as an avoidant, I've realized that there are times where I'll go back to a girl thinking that it was my avoidance and that I just didn't see it, right? I love them, but it was my avoidance. Just to go back and realize maybe it really wasn't my avoidance. Maybe there are things that I don't know. I genuinely just don't have here. And I feel uncomfortable. I feel uncomfortable being alone. And again, a lot of avoidants, they can't handle those uncomfortable feelings. So you're going to get the yo-yo. You're going to get the back and forth. They're going to act like they like you, and then they're going to ditch. And they're going to act like they like you, and they're going to ditch. And it's because they can't feel what it is to feel their feelings. I'm living proof. I'm doing this yo-yo shit to this girl. And I guess there's two possible outcomes. Either one outcome is, yeah, maybe it's just my avoidance and I actually am in love with her. Or the second part is that I keep getting her back and forth because I'm scared to trust that what I want, I can actually receive it. And it's really hard when you meet somebody and they're good, but they're not everything that you love. That's to me, that's the hardest relationship. But like I said, I feel like I've met other people now that I've experienced this like connectivity where I'm like, nah, I probably would have, if that would have went the full distance and they would have shown up for me, I would have committed to that other person. Sorry. I guess that's the truth. So it's like a blend of like, a lot of people, and I would say a lot of avoidance, sometimes you don't recognize whether it's your avoidance or whether or not you just like the person, but you don't like them that much. Weird place to be. Hard place to be. But again, now I'm realizing, right, now that I'm really leaning into self-love, it's all about getting to those true, deeper feelings about what you want, and you can't deviate. You might have to break a heart. You might have to tell somebody you love that you can't be there anymore. You might have to own the fact that somebody you do really love doesn't love you back. Wow, that one's hard. But if you have true self-love and you have true self-belief, you will recognize that if you love something and it doesn't love you back and you learn to accept it, more blessings will find you. The things that you want, the love that you want will find you. But you got to go through that discomfort of letting go and accepting that the thing that you so desperately want, maybe it's a person, that they're not going to love you in the way that you want, and you got to accept it, and you got to move through those uncomfortable feelings. And that's what I'm realizing is I can handle those. I couldn't before. I couldn't sit there with my feelings because I'm so anxious, but now I can. And now I realize it's my life, it's my world, and I can receive what I want. And if I can't, and if I want something and it doesn't want me back, I could handle that disappointment. I could let go of that shit. And if I meet something that I like but I don't love, I could communicate that and I could own it. And I could handle disappointing somebody else. Pretty powerful shit, huh? I don't know. All right, guys. Well, I love you. And yeah, we're going to see what happens from here. I'm a brand new man, kind of feels like. A lot more self-belief, a lot more self-love, and I really think you're going to see a different side of me. I truly believe that. Because all I'm going to do is just follow my feelings, do what I want at all times. That's what I realize about life. I don't need a plan. I don't need to plan my podcast. I don't need to plan content. I don't need to plan where I'm going. I trust that life is abundant and it's going to give back to me. All I got to do is trust my feelings and know that I am safe. If you ever want to work with me, you know where to find me.